go about it. You've had that speech when you're saying that we want to look at a different way of dealing with Africa and partnerships, not as opposed to being, imposing things. So we watched a film recently where it says, "Don't film me," shot by their a gentleman in Congo, and these guys were coming and talking about this, and then there's this part in the film where the guy gave the baby, the children, he came with the chocolate and gave them children, and the guy asked him, says, "Who told you that they wanted chocolate? What if they wanted cassava chips and you were giving them?" So you as an artist,
if they wanted the KFC,
cassava. So now what would be your best message as an artist to that part of the call of the French president saying a new Africa, a new Africa-France relationship,
Yes. One thing, we must know something happened before during our ancestors, the slavery and things like that, but we are not going to focus on that. If we have to really move on, we must, forget certain things in a way to clear the bad blood, and we start afresh. That's a very good motive, starting afresh and create a new workable relationship with, the whites or the foreigners, because right now they know that we are very creative and we have the potential to make Africa the best continent on earth. So we embrace that. If there is a workable approach, in working together and building our countries to create a more harmonious relationship, we are open to that.
Wow.
We are very open. That's why Jaja Kaya, inamwaka line in that song, if presidency is the problem, that because everybody wants to be a president, but not everyone can be a president, you see. So then let's focus on having governors. He has a line when you listen to the song, it's in the studio, it's not yet done. But when the song is out, don't take it personal, don't take it political. It's a way of creating awareness, and we are trying to devise means. We want to see a positive change.
Okay. Thank you very much, guys. And of course, we've been talking to Latif and Jaja Kaya right here. The Creative Industry Talk has come to an end. We're going to end the show with Jaja giving us that last sound of the song he sang about Latif. And you guys, as you head to London, we want to wish you guys the very best. I wish I could board a plane and come with Jaja and also enjoy this thing in London with you guys.
We actually we need a camera team, like someone filming this whole thing.
So yeah, you see, guys, come on, Kusonda for this.
But also, I wanted to add on someone who talked about a lawyer. And also a person who talked about branding. That is a very serious issue. There's so much money Uganda can tap. So a lot of dollars Uganda can bring in if we branded our products well, professionally. Because I mu America and ebintu ebiva mu mawanga amalala. We can do this. Naye olwokubanga ako kakyabuzeemu, so the professionals who are out there abamanyi okukola branding, look out for these talented people. Try to make business with them.
Wow. Wow. Well, so we're coming to the end of the show, and we're gonna say thank you so much, everybody, for coming. Jaja, your last word before you play. What would be your last word on the show today?
Kyempulira mu mwoyo gwange ebigambo byonna bye mpulidde bya mazima, era tuliyose okubeera nga tukyaddeko wano ne tusobola okufuna omukisa okubeera nga tuwulirizibwa ensi n'ensi, okusingira ddala bannayuganda. Emiramwa gyonna gibadde mirungi, era ng'ekigambo kyange kisembayo nga bwe nsabiddwa, omukisa gwa Katonda gugoberera ebigambo ebyo. Twagala amazima kubanga Katonda mazima. Mwebale nnyo mikwano gyaffe abali gye muli, abagoberera Reggae Embassy gye tuva, ne Latif Academy, ne Sweet Band. Bannange abagizi ba Sweet Band mbagala nnyo bannange yonna gye muli.
Wow. Latif, your final words?
Basically, I just want to thank everybody, for keeping glued to this program and watching us. Keep on supporting this TV. Keep watching, because I know he has a lot in stock, to bring to you. In other words. But I also want to appeal to the government. You know, this is a very serious issue because government is facing a lot of criminal offenses. You know, out of unemployment, you know, people being redundant, and you know, when you're not doing anything, you start, your mind weakens, and that creates what we call wickedness. When you're not doing anything. But when you have something that you're doing, you get closer to God. Kubango obo saba, all the time you're praying that what you're doing can excel. You get. So people find what to do, but the government should also come in. This is a very small project. 1 billion to a government, if they can give it to an artist, again they are creating awareness to like just a party. How about putting $1 billion to educate the whole nation? We need to build these schools, because this is my field. I have to talk as a fashion designer on and also for the rest of the stakeholders. You know, we need fashion schools in Uganda. Fashion is a very great element in the development of a country. But parliamentarians, but these suits should be made here. You know, let's create a national shirt and suit. Identity. Let's support the industry, the government especially. But building our own schools and nations. So please support us. Please welcome us to what to put to the public, you know, to create awareness for them.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you very much. The Creative Industry Talk has come to an end, and we're going to end this show on a great note with Jaja and you know, Latif giving us that song that we played at the beginning of the show about the artist and what the artist is doing, you know, created and written by Jaja Kaya, who is our guest on the show today. Until next week, keep it Creative Industry Talk, keep creating your work and stay fresh and stay blessed and stay focused. You know, life can draw so much from you, but you must stay focused.
Africa unite. Abasimatuka corona naddala bali erudde eri muno sirandani kyemba kutira kiri kimu butefubagiza wadde embeera za corona bangi zatutagula kakati tuve mu mayumba bitengi baterine esonze bumale ate nga tetusaanidde ddala kugisubwa mwani yabagamba okwambala engoye z'emivumba tujja kwambala bitengi byokka designer Latif Uganda omurasita owakabye yatonga mu nnyonyi wamakwesa lulembaga Maliki Jeni ne Hawa abo basibi banviyalo tujja kuba nabo Anifa wa makeup Mariamu yedikoletako ne Pofini ebyokulya bingi nnyo ebyekifirika Madamu Sala Soshi ebitaddemu omukono Olivia Kasalini n'alima Maka manyingo ulira Kuruno twambale ebitengi byokka Kuruno twambale ebitengi African culture tengeza festival Mukitengi pate tubera twanyine before
I will make you feel like you've never been loved, like you've never been loved.
Hey baby, it would take a lifetime for us to be over, sweet baby. Heaven will sing when we have each other. You don't have to fear, 'cause I will make you feel, I will make you feel like you've never been loved before. 'Cause I'll give you love like you've never been loved before. I will make you feel like you've never been loved before. Cause I will give you love like you've never been loved before. So don't be bothered by what your friends say, cause they don't know my love. I'll hold you, I'll be your shoulder, and you will never cry. You don't have to fear. No, no, I will make you feel, I will make you feel like you've never been loved before. Cause I will give you love like you've never been loved before. And I will make you feel like you've never been loved before. Cause I will give you love like you've never been loved before. Listen baby, I know you've been searching for a real man who will love you for who you are. So don't look further, here I am, if you let me in. Mama told me if you find the one, she's worth fighting for, and here I am. I will give you all that I am, if you let me in. Love will set us free, yeah, if we'll let it be. And I will make you feel like you've never been loved before. Cause I will give you love like you've never been loved before. And I will make you feel like you've never been loved before. And I will make you feel like, yeah, oh. And I will make you feel like you've never been loved. Cause I'll forever ever give you love like you never had, like a blessing from above. I will always shower you with love, feel like you've never been loved. Cause I'll forever ever give you love like you never had, like a blessing from above. I will shower you with love. I will make you feel like you've never been loved before. Cause I will give you love like you've never been loved before. And I will make you feel like you've never been loved before. Cause I will give you love like you've never been loved before.
I will make you feel like you've never been loved, like you've never been loved. I will make you feel like you've never been loved, like you've never been loved.
Baligamba nti nayimbira abato, nayimbira emitima egyali mu kabi gitebenkere, abantu balamu bagalane. Baligamba nti nafubira ku gita, abalala balwana, senga ndi ku gita, njagala bayige ewane, nti twaliyo, twaliyo. Buli kyenkola kikolera balijja, Mungu anyamba abaana nneme kubaswaza, njagala bayige bewane, nti twaliyo, twaliyo. Twakulira mu mulembe gwa kirya, twakulira mu mulembe gwa kirya, twakulira mu mulembe gwa kirya, twakulira mu mulembe gwa kirya. Children will rise taller than the mountains. I'd love to be a part of their foundation. I'd love to hear them say, we were there, we were there, we were there, we were there. Children will rise taller than the mountains. I'd love to be a part of their foundation. I'd love to hear them say, we were there, we were there. Every song I sing so they can be strong. My every heartbeat so they can love forever long. I love to hear them say, we were there, we were there. Oh, 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 yeah, yeah. Twakulira mu mulembe gwa kirya, twakulira mu mulembe gwa kirya, twakulira mu mulembe gwa kirya, twakulira mu mulembe gwa kirya. Mu mulembe gw'ensozi empya baliwulira oluyimba luno ku rediyo, balijjukira ennyimba ezatuweweeza. I would love this song to be played on the radio for many years to come. Whatever you will be called then, we'll remember when we used music as therapy. And I will have sung this song way back then. Yeah, way back then. Way back then, yeah, yeah. Way back then. Abana bakule, abana bayige, ikwanga likule. I wanna inspire the world, yeah. I wanna move the world, yeah. I wanna move the world, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Mumulembe wakirya, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Nalina omuwala ye Busabala, Prosikovi omulungi we Busabala. Yalina akamwenyu akalinga enjuba, nga mutayiza ng'atega ejjuba. Waliwo ekintu ekyansumbuwa, ekyo ekintu ekyangoba Busabala. Yalina muzeeye yali yajjula obukambwe, nga buli bwandaba ng'awagala ekyambe. Kye kyangoba ye Busabala. Changobe ye Busabala. Whoa, changobe ye Busabala. Yeah, changobe ye Busabala. Muzeyi yali mulodi we Busabala, okuva ebuvanjuba paka ebugwanjuba, ng'abanoonya abasajja ba local defense. Mikwano gya muzeyi wa Sikovia, buli omukwano gwali gujja kunzisa, nga njiribayiriba ne Proskovia. Obulamuze yali yajjula obukambwe, nga buli wandaba ng'awagala ekyambe. Oh, changobe ye Busabala. Oh, changobe ye Busabala. Oh, changobe ye Busabala. Changobe ye Busabala. Changobe ye Busabala. Batula ku ntebe nze ne bampa omukeeka. Changobe ye Busabala, nze omwana w'omuntu ne bampita enswera. Changobe ye Busabala, Prosikovi ekimuli kye Busabala. Obulamuze yali yajjula obukambwe, nga buli bwandaba ng'awagala ekyambe. Changobe ye Busabala. Oh, changobe ye Busabala. Changobe ye Busabala. Changobe ye Busabala. Changobe ye Busabala. Batula ku ntebe nze ne bampa omukeeka. Changobe ye Busabala, nze omwana w'omuntu ne bampita enswera. Changobe ye Busabala, Proskovia ekimuli kye Proskovia oyo. Proskovia ekimuli kye Busabala.
Coming up on Double XL Season 4, On the heavy hitter this week is engineer Andrew Sally Sentongo, the man who started as a driver in Makinde Division, is now supplying power the Lake Victoria Highlands in Kalangala. Andrew, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you very much.
In a nutshell, who is Andrew Sentongo?
Andrew Sentongo is a social entrepreneur. I started out my early career in 2006, straight out of university, where I started a small transport and tour business. So I ran this for 2 years, and I was going all over the country, mainly designing safari packages for tourists. I was also doing airport transfers for some of the hotels in Kampala. And it was a fun and interesting part of my life. So that's how my career actually started.
Okay, let's go back a little bit. You come out of Nkumba University,
Yes.
As a BBA graduate or student, and straight into driving.
Yes,
Some people would think you were mad.
No, I wasn't mad. I was actually very clear with what I wanted to do, and I was very articulate about it. I knew that I didn't want to end up somewhere in a formal, structured employment, which is something I've always felt is not my calling. So I decided to figure out what I wanted to do with myself, of course, but around my skill sets and also my hobbies. So travel and also interfacing with people is one of my hobbies and also one of my skill sets. So I thought through, during my last semester, I thought through actually starting up a safari or transport business. And from I got help from friends and family. And immediately after graduation, I managed to get it going.
Wow. And you were not ashamed that you were becoming a driver?
No, I was not
With your
ashamed.
degree?
No, not at all. I was not ashamed. I didn't look at it. I was driving, but I didn't look at myself as a driver. I looked at myself as a businessman. I looked at myself as a starter, as someone who is delivering a service to other people. And that service was driving, that service was guiding, that service was also designing holiday packages for tourists. So in the end I was driving, but I didn't really look at myself like that. And this is something very important for young people who are trying to get themselves started, not to have an attitude of demeaning menial jobs, but rather seeing value in them and seeing some sort of empowerment in them.
Okay, so you talk about going to university, getting the degree, and becoming a driver. And today somebody will think you're mad, because everybody who comes out of the university wants to go straight away, sitting in big offices, putting on nice suits like me. I mean, what was the experience like coming out of university and buying a car and starting this?
It wasn't easy and straightforward, of course. I had to sit down, I had to articulate my idea, I had to sell my idea to people who financed it. I had to really be very articulate about it. So it was not straightforward, but at the same time, it allowed me to really have a depth of conviction that this is what I want to do. And once you show that and you stick to it, other people buy in. So I think that's the take from this, or that should be the take from this.
Your family didn't disown you for getting a degree and becoming a driver?
My family supported me very much, and they have always supported me very much. I'm the last boy out of an extended family of, I think we're 12 in total, and I'm the last boy. And surprisingly, I'm taken very seriously, despite having that position in the family.
Okay.
So they really supported my dreams. They really helped whoever had an idea, whoever had a resource, also the moral support to say, okay, this is what you want to do, fine. But it also comes from having a serious outlook and having conviction that this is what I'm going to do. And no matter what, I will take my chances.
Okay, so how did you end up qualifying yourself as a social entrepreneur?
That was an interesting turn and an interesting twist, because I actually ran that business for 2 years, and along the way I met all sorts of people. I made friends, I made international friends. That's the platform that business gave me. I met friends from Europe, I met friends from America, I met friends from wherever. So I ran into a Canadian family that was actually impressed with what I was doing. And
as a driver?
As a driver, yes. And this was, I used to work wee hours of the night. So I remember one particular question that I think compelled this family to foster my interests was that I was working late. I remember picking up people as late as 10 a.m. in the airport, from the airport, driving them to Kampala, seeing that they're checked in. Sometimes they want to have meals, sometimes they want to see a little bit of Kampala, and I was always there. So one particular night or evening, I remember a question of what time do you get off? And my answer was, I don't get off. I only get off once I'm told to get off. Otherwise, if I'm needed at 3, I will show up at 3.
So would you qualify your attitude as being that of a person who say, as long as there's work, I will?
Yes. And that has been key to advancing my career. And I think there are opportunities out there, but sometimes I think we fall short of presenting ourselves to harness those opportunities.
When you say we fall short of presenting ourselves, are you referring to us Ugandans? Or
I think it's general. I think it cuts across national lines. I think it's a general attitude in certain parts of the world. Other parts of the world, it's a bit more refined. But in this part of the world, especially young people, I think it's a bit of a more specific attitude that people are very structured. It could be as a result of our education system, it could be a result of upbringing, but sometimes it's good to have a little bit of flexibility and go the extra mile.
Okay, let's talk about the meeting of this family and asking the question and you responding to the question. So how did that translate to you getting a scholarship from them to eventually moving out of this country to go and study?
Well, that's an interesting question. It was a routine airport pickup. I remember it was a KLM flight arriving at 9:15, and I had worked probably from 6 a.m. that day, doing airport shuttles back and forth, and I was tired. So I had hired a driver then, and I remember receiving the details to pick up this family around 5-6 p.m. from the hotel. And I remember questioning myself, should I give this to the driver, or should I take it on myself? And I said, well, let me just go on. It's the last one, I might as well just go and do it. So I went and picked them up, but we immediately clicked from the time I picked them up, and we had a very good 1-hour drive back to Kampala. We had conversation about where they are from, where I'm from, what I'm doing, and I had just graduated the year before, so that was quite impressive, I think, for Canadians to see that a university graduate is picking up people from the airport.
Yes, it was quite interesting. It is said that intellect will find opportunity, reason it and kill it, but instinct will find opportunity, use it.
Yes.
Would that be a typical case?
That's a typical case. And I remember from the onset, I think they liked the drive, the passion, and the diligence that was behind me, or that I put forth. So that compelled them to make me an offer, to say, and the offer was, hey, if you want to foster your education, advance your education, we can do that. If you want to expand your business.
Just like that?
Yeah, just like that. But it came out of growing a relationship over the 2 weeks they stayed in the country. And I think the key points were, I was always on time, I was always diligent, I never turned down anything, and I worked myself off the clock.
I hope you can hear that. I was always on time, I never turned down anything, and
I worked off the clock. I worked off the clock.
In other words, we say I worked this off, so I will not complete the statement, but you know what I mean. So Andrew, and then did you know you wanted to become an engineer in this field, or how did it come about? Were you ready for this opportunity?
No, that was the accidental part of my career. I knew that I've always believed in education. I think education gives an opportunity to empower and trigger someone's mindset. And I always wanted to have a European or Western education as part of my advanced studies. But not necessarily with a focus on academics. I like academics, but the content or the focus this time was, how can I learn from the West? How can I learn from the way of life? How can I learn from the systems? How can I learn from how these countries are organized, how these systems are organized, and what can I bring back home from that? So that was my main, I could have selected a local university to do my master's studies, but no, I wanted to have a Western experience.
Yeah. Okay. And so now you're a commercial bio value chain engineer.
Yes.
Straight out of Netherlands, as we say it.
Yes.
And of course, England.
Yes.
What was the experience like?
The experience was interesting in this kind of way. So upon receiving my scholarship and getting all the administrative issues done, I jumped on a plane in 2017, I remember, September. So 2007, okay. Sorry. So I arrived in the Netherlands, no family contact, no friends. So
first time out of Uganda?
First time out of Uganda.
First time in the plane?
Not really first time in the plane. I had flown before in my childhood, but I had never really gone out of Africa.
Okay.
So here I am in a non-English speaking country. I have nobody to receive me at the airport, and I have to find my way.
To the airport, to the university?
To the university.
Wow.
So, but it was a good lesson. It was uncomfortable, of course. I was nervous, but that was a good lesson to really trickle my independence, my intuition, and how do I connect with foreign people, which is actually very important. Eventually, I managed to find my way. I think it was a 1-hour journey that took me about 4 to 5 hours, because I had to figure out how the train systems work and which platform to go to.
On your own?
On my own. Which bus to jump on. Eventually, I arrived at school. And I remember it was around 1 p.m. And I was, for some administrative reason, I was 2 weeks late. It wasn't my fault. It was the school's fault. And I jumped straight into class that afternoon.
Wow.
Yes.
And that was it?
That was it. And I had to start from scratch in terms of building a network, making friends, making acquaintances. But it went very well. There were, of course, some discomforts living in a foreign culture, but there were many learning points, and there were very many good things, I think, that I came back with. And I like to say that it made me a better person. The combination of an exposure to the two, local and Western, I think made me a better person in the end.
Okay, hold it up there, Andrew. We're going for a break, and when we come back, Andrew will be telling us how he got his first $10,000 to become a $100 million investor in Uganda today.
My name is Martin Anthony Nsubuga. I'm the CEO of Uganda Retirement Benefits Regulatory Authority. and I've served the institution until now, where I've grown to the position of the Chief Executive Officer. So I've seen UBRA since its establishment.
I was also the person who started the organization as interim CEO for the organization. My role was to set up the organization, and here we are.
It has been a really new experience in my life. As you may have heard, UBRA was non-existent. There was no formal regulatory environment for pensions or retirement benefits. So we are a pioneer. We were appointed to set up the architecture and the environment for regulation of retirement benefits and pensions.
So the Ministry of Finance, because I was the technical person really handling all these reforms, they asked me to come and set up this institution, which is the Retirement Benefits Regulatory Authority. So I was requested to start as interim Chief Executive Officer, which I did from the year 2012 to early 2015. It's been a great journey. When we started from scratch.
The journey of 10 years of UBRA started with an Act of Parliament of 2011, but actual operation started in 2012, and that's why we are celebrating 10 years today.
There was no institutional setup, there were no laws, there was nothing. So we started with the legal framework, putting in place the legal framework that establishes the supervisor or the regulator for the retirement benefits sector. Before then,
UBRA came into the back